Round four is shaping up as the absolute week from hell for NRL fantasy coaches. Real disasters across the board. Obviously, the Melbourne Storm bye means a few guys are out. We had Cotter get injured. We've had a few other injuries sort of pop up around the place. Tuapiki, HIA. There's a lot going on here. Nathan Cleary, though, has now been announced 4 weeks out. I want to show you how we can turn this into a positive for our teams rather than a negative. So I'm going to talk you through today my logic path for how I deal with these sorts of things. And the first thing I'm going to say here is I've restructured my side. So Katoa, Chan, Keeney, they're all out of the starting team. I have two problems, though, to sort. First one is Pappenhausen. He is my starting fullback here, and he is not playing this week, obviously, with the bye. Second problem is Nathan Cleary. Now, what we can do straight away is we can move Cleary onto the bench because we don't necessarily need to buy a half if we don't want to. Galvin obviously is pretty starting caliber. I've got guys like Flano and Hutchison too, so I've got a few half options available to me. Now, what do we want to do from here? We want to go into our trade screen. So just grab Cleary, little T next to him, go into the trade interface, and what I'm thinking here is I want guys who are going to play this week. I can't trade out any of my players who are playing right now, so for me, I actually need Hutchison as a scorer this week. He could do well against South, so we're looking pretty dodgy as well. So I need to sell one of Keeney or Chan here because I think Katoa is awesome. I'm going to stick with him. So right now I'm just going to grab Chan first because him and Keeney are both a bit dodgy. I think Chan probably lost his spot to Sean Bloor, if I'm being honest. I think that's really what's happened. So I've got a bit of money here to spare. I've got 1.41 million. You can see that just up the top there. And that means I can jump down here and I can sort by price and have a look. So first option here is you can go for a guy like Isaiah Yo. So let's see what that looks like here. Because we can move Isaiah Yo in. It means we have 507K left, which if you jump down to that price point, it's giving us guys like Murray Taulagi, Kenny Bromwich, Bradman Best is very cheap right now. Fino Pole, Tavita Tola. It's not too super inspiring down here, to be honest. I'm not liking the look of these sorts of players. So for me personally, this isn't going to work out. I also had about 175K spare. So you might find yourself even lower on the price chart than this with your team if you didn't have a bunch of money in the bank. So we'll go back to the top here. I'm going to take Yo out and just jump back in here. And I think I need to get, for the way my team looks, I need to get two guys who are starting caliber. So for me, that's probably going to look like two guys around 700K. But for you, it might look like getting a guy around 700K and a guy around 500K. So we go on this list. Obviously, look, Haas is hurt for Feeder. He's coming back from injury maybe this week. Hopgood in and out of form. I don't mind that pick if you want that. Fanua Blake's been really good, but again, I don't know if I want to get Fanua Blake for 825K. Johnson down 71K, but it's a bit dodgy. Cam Murray, he had a bit of an injury at training today, apparently. DCE is not the fantasy scorer he once was with Brooks next to him. Latrell, shocker last week. Has the Dogs this week. Could bounce back, but big price. Paddy Carrigan's probably the first guy I really like the look of here. So Paddy Carrigan, 773K. When Payne Haas is out, Carrigan really steps up, 66 points. He's going to play around 80 minutes every week. So, yeah, I don't mind that at all if you need a middle forward, which I might need a middle forward, actually. So we'll keep an eye on Paddy Carrigan. Going to the list, look, Harry Grant, bye this week anyway. Corey Horsburgh will be back. I don't want to do it. Cam Munster hurt. Gagai has been a top center, but it's a big price to pay. I mean, it's rolled down this list. Tohu could be a good shout as well. He's played 80 minutes in 2 or 3 games, so I don't mind that. Tino's out hurt. I like the look of, so Tungo will struggle without Cleary, I think, a little bit. I like the look of Mitch Moses, actually. So if I grab Mitch Moses here, and you can get other guys here as well. You can get guys like Fogarty too at a similar price point, but I like Moses' upside. I'm getting a 60K discount because he had that injury in round 1. He looks like he's coming back onto it now, so I think he'll be rock solid. Has the Tigers this week as well. Normally dominates that Eastern matchup. It leaves me with 677K left over. Now, again, if I had $0 in the bank, I'd have about 500K. But 677K, I mean, let's jump down here, right? So first up, Coruscant. Great. Now, downside with me getting Coruscant here is I actually need a wing fullback. Unless Keeney plays, I need a wing fullback. Ryan Pappenhausen is not playing this week, obviously, because of the bye. So I probably have to get one of those unless Keeney steps in. So, I mean, if your team can do it, Dylan Brown's getting cheap. I'm actually eyeing him off for a couple of weeks from now. I'll be getting probably Dylan Brown relatively soon at a cheap price. Dylan Edwards is there. Again, without Cleary, I don't really like it. Ruben Garrick at center. Yeah, I would really like to look at Turbo here. So Turbo at 48.3 average. He's had a lot of calls back where he could have had bigger attacking plays. He could be averaging 60 or 70 points. And then down the list, it gets a bit dry. Yeah, I don't love the look of the rest of this. Like Max King's all right, but he's not quite a gun. Sorensen apparently out as well. Yeah, it's getting pretty dry as you head down to this section. Cobbo is not the worst. Taylor May, they have a buy coming up pretty soon at Penrith. I think it's got to be Turbo, right? So if I'm just making the safer moves, it's probably these sorts of guys where I've got, 7K remaining, right? So I've managed to turn Cleary into Mitch Moses, essentially, and then added Tom Trbojevic with the spare money as well. So Tommy Turbo against the Dragons this week, Moses against the Tigers this week. I think this is a winning trade, but if you have less money in the bank, I actually really like Kai Pierce-Paul as well. So back-to-back 80-minute games, 0.7% ownership, massive pod right now. He at 549K is serious value, and you can get him for a cheaper price. So you could maybe get, Turbo and Kai Pierce-Paul or Moses, Kai Pierce-Paul, whatever it is there, just to make space. That would be, if I had less money, that's probably what I'd do instead of Moses. So let's complete that trade. And now we're at a spot where we can see our team. I'll bring Moses into that starting side for Galvin, even though Galvin has earned his starting spot. I'm just going to move Galvin up. I'll bring Turbo into the starting team as well. And now we've got a pretty good setup here in that we can do a bit of a loophole sort of move as well. Let's have a look at the fixtures. So I think the Dogs are playing on, the Roosters and the Panthers, then the Bunnies and the Dogs. Okay. Roosters, Panthers. I don't really want to loophole any of them. Bunnies and Dogs is probably where I'll do it. So I'd probably do something like, actually, with your loophole strategy, you can do a lot here. So the problem is Sam Hughes is there as well. I'd probably do something like, probably something like this. And then if Drew Hutchison goes well, he'll be my scorer. If not, if Keeney plays, I can try him out as well. But yeah, there's not a lot of flexibility here. So I was going to put him into the starting side for now, but you probably want to do a loophole there as well, depending on how your squad looks. That's what I'm thinking. We've managed to trade Cleary out and Chan, who's a bit of a nothing for us. And we've turned them into Mitch Moses, Tom Trbojevic. Makes my squad look better already. I'm sitting at about, 4,996 rank. Nearly 200,000 players. Wow, that's crazy. But 4,996, I'm feeling okay about it. I need Sean Lane to bounce back. He was on my trade out list this week, but I've got to stick with him now with Cleary being hurt. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you're thinking of doing. And also, if you're still here, we have our Discord server as well. I'll pop a link into the comments too. We've got heaps of chat going on here in terms of a lot of the trade talk, what we're going to do here this week, the injury chat as well. It's just launched today, so it's super new. It's pretty quiet right now. Although actually it's sort of starting to pump up. We've got about 23 people on there. I'm sure it'll boost up once I actually announce it properly. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Let me know in the comments who you're trading, and see you on Discord.